I want to begin by thanking Fulton McGregor for securing this debate and to colleagues who have taken part. It is really important that the voices of the PKU community are heard in the Scottish Parliament. As we've heard, PKU is a rare inherited metabolic condition that demands an extraordinary level of discipline. It is a relentless 24/7 commitment to a diet so restrictive that most of us would struggle for even a single day, never mind a lifetime. Yet for the PKU community, this is a necessity to prevent irreversible neurological damage. I want to join colleagues in paying tribute to the National Society for Phenylketonuria. Their advocacy is, of course, the reason we are here. I also want to thank the individuals and families who did attend the recent drop-in event. It was excellent. Their bravery in sharing the realities of their lived experience is what drives policy change, and it was a pleasure to meet them all and to see some faces in the gallery. I want to mention, of course, Mags Lappin from Blantyre, which is my hometown. And Mags first contacted me a few years ago to tell me about this condition, about her daughter, Caris. And Caris is an adult. So Mags has a lot of experience. She is a tireless campaigner, but she shouldn't have to be. Parents and caregivers are exhausted. What has really struck me, and the thing I want the Minister to really take from my contribution tonight, is that Mags has an adult daughter, but she's describing the current state of Scottish clinical services for adult PKU patients as frightening. In her own words, Mags has witnessed a demise in care. She recalls a time when Glasgow had a world-class metabolic team. To see those services erode to the point where she believes we've gone back 30 years is simply heartbreaking. So we need to get a response to that. The motion tonight highlights two game changers: the home blood monitoring and CP-apterin. Again, I've probably not said that properly. Currently, patients use dry blood spots, pricking their finger and mailing a card to a lab, then waiting days for a result. That's like a person with diabetes having to wait a week to know their blood sugar. That wouldn't be acceptable. New trials of point-of-care devices allow for results in under 30 minutes via a smartphone app. It doesn't just provide data, it provides freedom and the ability to make real-time dietary adjustments. Likewise, the Affinity Phase 3 trials for CP-apterin have shown incredible promise. In these trials, nearly 73% of participants saw a significant reduction in blood phenylalanine. Again, you can tell I'm not a clinician, and some were even able to double or triple their daily protein intake. For a PKU patient, that is the difference between a life of medical formula and the ability to eat a more normal meal. However, innovation is no use if it doesn't reach the patient. In the case of Caris, she was only able to trial CP-apterin because her mum would not let it go. But even then, she was only at half the European guideline dosage. So, in closing, Presiding Officer, I would ask the Minister to take a look at why in Scotland we are seeing patients receiving treatment that goes against international guidelines and standards set across the rest of the UK. We need to look at these chronic staffing shortages that leave families feeling behind and abandoned. Adult care in particular at the moment appears to be totally unacceptable. So we need accountability, we need dedicated metabolic dietitians and a commitment to these new technologies. We cannot allow the clock to tick backwards. Mags and Caris and many others have fought for long enough, and we need to make sure that we have PKU services for everyone in Scotland that we can all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Lennon. Before calling the next speaker,